things just got from bad to just worse. And I don't know how they're going to get out of this one. Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Anime Mega Reviews, and today I got my review for Black Clover chapter 274. And for all my subscribers, I know that I said yesterday that most likely this review is going to come out like on Saturday or maybe like Friday night, but it happened to come out early, so I gotta do it. And I gotta say, this chapter was actually pretty good. It was a good setup chapter, you know. It wasn't a whole lot of action, but it had some pretty good scenes. So anyway, it starts off with Noct meeting the captains, and we sort of saw this with last week's chapter where after he finished training with Asta, he had to immediately meet with the captains because look, if y'all don't already know, it is time to battle. It is time to go to war. And pretty much, you know, like the captains, they're talking, you know, they're pretty much like, I guess, socializing a little bit. It's good to see the interactions with the captains. And it's awesome to see like Noct as the leader of this whole entire operation, because one thing that I think that I've personally slept on throughout seeing Noct in terms of his characterization was that, you know, his leadership skills. But Noct is actually a pretty good leader. He's a spy. And I definitely would say he's the smartest person in terms of the invasion arc. You know, he knows everything. He was, of course, a spy. And we kind of get this little side panel here where we see Sally and the other Eye of the Midnight Sun, former Eye of the Midnight Sun member. And in this panel, we really get some cool information about just magic tools in general. And also, Sally apparently helped out with these robes or with these coats. And these coats are actually supposed to hide their mana, I guess, from the Spain Kingdom generals or in, I guess, in like the area, which is kind of weird to me because you guys are going to see later in this video why I think that it really wasn't a good idea. But I believe that Sally helped out with the invention. And it's pretty cool to see that Sally, you know, she's being used to a very good capacity. And even Nozel points out the fact that, you know, he knows that she made it, but at the same time, he's kind of like, you sure this is going to work? It's supposed to hide her mana. And also in this panel, we see the side character, and I believe that Yuki Tabata added this Easter egg in this week's manga chapter. I believe that he's supposed to be inspired by a member of the Japanese band Snowman. So yeah, Yuki Tabata, you know, he's doing it for the culture, man. It's pretty cool to see that Black Clover is really doing like a lot of things like the Easter eggs and everything. This is awesome. Like, I really love it. But in the next panel, look, man, this is like the funniest part of this whole entire chapter. It's so funny. Siki or Seke, I'm going to call him Siki. He is like the Yamcha of the Black Clover series. And this is definitely not an overestimation of his character. And I believe that Yuki Tabata, you know, he did this because every single shonen series has like this gag character. You know, Siki, he's like Yamcha. And apparently our boy has been living it up for the past few months. You know, you see him with the ladies. He's a ladies' man. King Augustus appointed him to the strike team, and he knows for a fact that he's not even supposed to be here. I have no idea why he's even on a magic squad to begin with as far as the praying mantises. And on top of that, I think that he's the only other member that we've seen so far of the praying mantises that's kind of like been in like the mainline cast besides Jack. I'm interested to see like who else is in the praying mantises that could possibly be powerful as well, maybe like a vice captain, because we haven't seen this yet. So I'm very interested to see this possibly in the future. And we get this really funny panel where Noct, he already knows this dude does not possess any type of special skill. And he's just like, look, bro, like just be a sacrifice for humanity. Just take one for the team. And also something that's very interesting here, and I guess this involves Yuno's character, is that they all ask, like everyone's asking like, yo, where's Asta? I think that Yuno, I don't know, is he jealous that Asta's like getting the shine right now? And I know that Yuno's character doesn't seem like the type to be jealous, but at the same time, you know, in every single shonen series, when you have the rivals have something to be jealous about one way or another. I'm very much so reminded of the scene in Naruto, the original Naruto, part 1, where Naruto and Sasuke were fighting on top of the roof and Sakura was trying to intervene, but Kakashi was able to redirect their blows. You know, Naruto had his Rasengan out, Sasuke had his Chidori, and they both hit like a water tower. Now, Sasuke, his attack went into the water tower and it caused a huge hole. And then he looked at Naruto and hit the Rasengan. It seemed like it didn't do that much, but then Sasuke looked at the back and saw the huge crater in the water hole, and he was just jealous. You saw the look on Sasuke's face. So I'm wondering, is Yuno going to get to this point? I have no idea. Like, he just needs to be focused on Zenon. He shouldn't have to worry about anything else. But in the next panel, what's really cool is that finally we get Noct. He's opened up his portal and they're instantly transported into the Spade Kingdom. And so when I saw the spoilers, I thought they were going to be like in front of the Spade Kingdom, which is the reason why we saw that giant demon. However, I was quickly proven wrong when I looked into this panel and I saw that, okay, wow, they're actually in the castle. They're actually in the Dark Triad's hideout. And even, man, I'm going to get into it later because I don't really want to spoil it too much as far as like the chapter. I want you guys to definitely go and read the chapter. And it's actually pretty interesting to see that even Xenon is taken by surprise because although they definitely did know the Clover Kingdom was going to come soon enough, there's still this kind of weird thing when like Morris, he's at the computer and he's like, oh, they're coming. And then I'm thinking back to Sally's invention. Wasn't it supposed to hide the mana? Like, I don't know, but maybe, Morris and the Dark Triad, it seems like a very big technological society. So most likely they maybe have like some scanners or something like that. But then at the same time, I may be wrong because when I looked at it, I'm like, well, maybe they're talking about the rebels because instantly after this panel, we see the rebels. They're getting to like this shouting match outside of the Dark Triad's castle. You have all the rebels and they don't seem like they're that powerful at all. And I think that this was done on purpose because the Spade Kingdom most likely had killed so many of their troops and their men that were actually powerful to begin with. It seemed like the Dark Triad would do something like that. It's not so far-fetched. And even the rebels, they actually say that. But the resistance, look, man, they ready to put their lives on the line. And he even said it himself, it's been 17 years, like legitimately 17 years. And you see Xenon, Xenon is just like, Xenon just don't give a damn. Like, Xenon just looking at these people like, yo, what are y'all even doing? Even Xenon don't take them serious. And even the resistance themselves, like, they're really scared. But there's a plan behind it. I'm definitely going to get into that a little bit later in the video. The plan makes sense. They're just not going out there buck wild, risking their lives for no reason. Obviously, there's something behind the scenes going on, and it involves our boy Noct. But in this panel right here, we have Xenon that actually he confirms that they're going to kill everyone in the capital anyway. Like, he says to them straight up, look, only the strong ones should live in the Spade Kingdom. No one else should live in the Spade Kingdom, period. If you're not strong, if you're not the Dark Triad, you don't belong in the Spade Kingdom. And then it kind of boggles my mind. I'm like, whoa, who did y'all think was actually going to be ruling over you guys when the Dark Triad came to power? I mean, look, I'm not saying the citizens should have just all rose up, but I think they definitely should have just ran away from the Dark Triad because obviously, Xenon and the Dark Triad, they're really missing some screws loose. But right here, the guy who's in charge of this resistance, he knows for a fact that, hey, look, like Noct has his back. And that is when we get a panel where Noct actually reveals to the spy that had originally came to Yuno that apparently Noct had contacted the resistance and told them about the plan that was going to happen. And so, yeah, Noct, I'm not saying he's setting these people up for failure because you're going to see eventually towards the end of the chapter what's going to happen. But that's when we get the big reveal. This huge, monstrous, demonic creature pops up out of the ground. And this is the creature that apparently is going to kill everyone in the capital. The resistance people, they're scared. Everyone's scared. I'm just looking at the Dark Triad. I'm like, bro, these people are like super savage. Like, what is the point of all this? You know that they want to open up a portal to the underworld, but my gosh, like, you're really wondering, like, man, where's the humanity in them? Was there ever a single bit of just goodness in them to begin with? Like, when they came out the womb, were they just evil? And I guess that goes to like nature versus nurture, but at the same time, we know that the Spade Kingdom wasn't always that way. They were actually, a decent kingdom. We know that Yuno's father was a peace-loving king, so obviously they didn't grow up in a society where there's just this barbarism and violence. But then the Dark Triad, for some odd reason, they're just extremely violent. Now, one theory that I could put together is maybe Lucifer and the demons have planned this all along. I mean, if Zachary could reincarnate the elves into bodies 500 years later, there's no telling what Lucifer and the rest of the demons can do, the devils can do in the underworld. And as the chapter finally comes to a close, we see the other Clover Kingdom captains. They're talking to Noct while they're inside the castle. And they're like, yo, are those people going to be okay outside? Like, have you set them up to die? And Noct is like, don't worry about them. And that is when we get the final just big reveal, something that I was really hyped for because I wasn't sure if she was really going to make an appearance. And no, I'm not talking about Noelle. If you guys have been watching my past videos, I have been begging Yuki Tabata to finally reveal Noelle and the ultimate power or ultimate magic, whatever. But I know that's going to come at a later date. But we've been missing somebody else for a long time in the Black Clover manga. Like, we have legitimately not seen this woman in almost 20 chapters. After the elf reincarnation arc, we're wondering, yo, where is she? She's a beast. She got the bag. Who am I talking about? Like, who could I even be just whispering about? I'm talking about Merla Leona. She comes out of nowhere and smacks this demon in the face with her fire magic. And you can even see the demon just recoil at the shot. You already know that demon got hit with something serious. We know that Merla Leona, she's been in the lab. You think if all the other Clover Kingdom captains were training, do you think she's just been sitting down, ain't doing nothing? Now, we saw the power boost that Yami got. We saw how powerful our boy Yami got with that training. I can't wait for the other captains, because we know the other captains, they're going to be in their bag too. They're going to be in their lab. They're going to be training. But Marilyn Leonis really stands above the rest, maybe except for Yami. But at the same time, man, it's good to finally see her back. The lioness returns. The Kampachi of the Black Clover series. The savage. The most savage captain ever, besides maybe Yami. But Marilyn Leona, man, let's give a round of applause. It's good to have her back. And I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next chapter. There are definitely a lot of things that I could question this chapter. Like, for instance, Noct, he's obviously trying to stop the Tree of Cliff off. And Xenon, he's like, look, we're going to do this now. So, yeah, it's go time. So maybe we're going to see Asta sooner than we think, but who knows? But anyway, guys, that does it for me today. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new. Also, hit the like button because it does so well in the algorithm. Also, comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought about this video. I know y'all are hyped about this chapter, and I just can't wait to see what Yuki Tabata really brings out the bag next week. But as usual, make sure you guys have a wonderful day and peace.